and I thought that they would be. Oh my god. I hope that caught that because I thought someone was grabbing my hand. Hello, welcome in. It's fall, it's cold. I'm wearing a hoodie. We've got chill in the air. I'm ready to talk about a fall TBR. I'm ready to talk about fantasy. I'm ready to talk about thrillers. That's all I want. Romance is out. Unless you have wings, then romance is out. So I feel like my TBR, my fall TBR, is way bigger than usual, way bigger than I can do. I know that. You know that. Everyone knows that. It's going to be huge. And it's also filled with fantasies that are over 500 pages. So I'm not really sure what I expect I can do, but it's not going to be finish my TBR. That's for sure. Oh, Dinky wants to say hi. Hi, Dink. I just want to go over kind of what I am most excited to read this coming fall season. Thriller-wise, fantasy-wise, there's not a single romance book in this, which is not shocking. So, starting it off strong, obviously I'm in the middle of ACOTAR series, so I put this here just to remind me because I need to finish this series. I'm in the middle of ACOWAR. I just got to a reunion, so it's very exciting. I'm loving it so far, literally eating it up. I also would love to start Throne of Glass. I don't know, there's just so many books I want to read in between ACOTAR and Throne of Glass that I don't know if I am ready to sign up for an 8-9 book series. I don't know if this is 8 or 9, but I might just read the first one, which I'm not even going to start with this one. I think I'm going to start with Assassin's Blade since Sarah said that. Sarah Caroli. If you don't watch Sarah, what are you doing? Would love to start it. We'll see. This is like on the back burner of TBR because I know I'm going to get to it eventually. It's a big commitment. Next, just saw it air. I've only seen people say that it reminded them of Fourth Wing, or like if you like Fourth Wing, you're gonna like this. Obviously, I love Fourth Wing. It was on a buy one, get one half off table, so I bought it. We'll see how it is. It's hard for me to summarize what a book is about because I like to go into these blind. So couldn't tell you a single thing that this is about. And I'm not going to. Oh my god, a page is bent. It's okay. It's got a cool cover though. And it's tall. Oh, now we have Mugs. Say hi, Mugs. This is Muggle. I don't know if you've officially met her, just in passing, but this is Muggle. She is my baby. She's my first baby. She's got a lot going on. I also, oh my god, I'm so excited to read these. Also because of Sarah. Stinky! Sorry. Once Upon a Broken Heart. I went ahead and bought the second one because it was on sale in hardback, even though I kind of wish I had this in hardback. I've never even seen this in hardback, but I wanted this in the pink cover from Barnes or BAM, one of the ones who had the pink cover, and I can't find it anywhere. But it's okay because this matches. The pink would not have matched. But I know the third one's coming out soon, so I wanted to read both of these before the third one came out, which is, I have no idea when, but I'm excited for it. I feel like I'm putting them off because I know I'm going to be obsessed with them. I just like am in no hurry to get there because I want to make it, I don't want it to be over. I want to make it last. Also, just purchased this today. Look how pretty she is. This might be like the prettiest book I own. This beats Divine Rivals. This is beautiful. I know this is like the spin-off series of Kingdom of the Wicked. No, I did not read Kingdom of the Wicked. There's just something about YA fantasy that it's missing something, and that's okay. That's just probably not going to be as interesting to me for certain reasons, but maybe I'll read it. I'm also not in like a huge hurry to get to this because she's huge. She's a big girl, so maybe one day if I get to Kingdom of the Wicked, then I'll read this. But the author herself said you don't need to read that first to get it or anything. It's just like it's nice to know things, I guess. So, also, obviously don't have them, but Iron Flame is literally my most anticipated read coming up for the fall. I cannot explain how excited I am. I'm so pumped. The day that comes out, do not talk to me. Do not text me. I will be in my bed. I will have a candle lit. Every single time I go to film, my cats want to go number 2. So, I appreciate that. Where was I? Iron Flame. Like I said, I ordered the cool new Fourth Wing that we just found out was the limited edition. And now I've got Iron Flame coming in, I think the same day. I don't even know if they come in the same day. But I'm so excited. And then also Divine Rivals, the second one's coming. I don't even know what it's called, but I did pre-order it. I have no idea what it's called. But she's prettier than the next one. And I think I'm going to like the second one more than the first one. Since the first one, you know, didn't really give us all that romance that I wanted. I wanted way more romance. And I feel like the second one is going to pick up more romance. And it left on a cliffhanger. So I'm very excited. Both of them left on a cliffhanger. So those are definitely two of my most anticipated reads. November is going to be a big reading month. I'm very excited. But also, hopefully I don't get into like some sort of slump. I don't think these are going to put me in slumps. What am I saying? Oh, thank God. It was a receipt sticking out. I thought there were pages torn. That scared me. Okay, I'll just put those back in. Anyways, I'm worried that, because sometimes bigger books take me a while to read just because they're intimidating, and like ACOWAR has taken me over a week already, and I'm like 150 pages in. So I said halfway earlier, that's nowhere near halfway. It's a 700-page book. I don't know, I just get very intimidated by the big books. So I wish I could read them on my Kindle, all of them, and then own the big books, but I don't want to buy them on my Kindle if I already bought them. And I think that wraps up for my fantasy TBR. And now I'm going to go into my thrillers, because I want to read thrillers, I think, more before Halloween, even though that is literally in like a week and a half or 2 weeks. So I'm like more excited to read the fantasies than I am the thrillers. So I want to pick up the fantasy, but then it takes me longer. And I also, like, I want to read these during spooky season. But to start us off, I've had Karen Slaughter on my TBR probably every single month since I first read Pretty Girls last year, because I loved Pretty Girls and then I never read another Karen Slaughter book, but it was so good. So I have pieces of her. I think is the first one that I want to read of hers, even though this is the ugly TV cover. I'll still read it. It's okay. I have it in hardback, so if I want to switch off, I can. Ooh, the font is not cute either. But I'm hoping, since this one is the one that got the show, that means it's like the most popular / the best. So I really want to read this one. Another one, super excited to read, Frida McFadden, which I bought this for no reason. It's on Kindle Unlimited. A woman doesn't show up for work, so her coworker gets a call basically saying, like, come find her, I think, or she was being stalked. It just says she was caught in a twisted game of cat and mouse. I just know there's gonna be twists. I know I'll like it. But I love The Housemaid, and I only hear good things about Frida and her twists. And she one time posted my book review of Mugs and The Housemaid on her Instagram, so I had a fangirl moment. Okay, Alice Feeney is another like auto buy, and I have not read all of her books yet. I don't know how many books she has. That was a bold statement, but I haven't read His and Hers, and I keep hearing good things about His and Hers, so I really want to read this one. I read Sometimes I Lie, which was slow for me in the beginning, but like once I got to the end, it was really good. I also read her Rock, Paper, Scissors, which I loved. I ate that up. I think I rated that like 4.5 or 4.75. It was really good. So I'm excited to read this one. Again, don't really know what it's about. Oh, it's kind of cool. So, oh my God. I hear my dogs running around downstairs and there's no one downstairs. Well, if someone breaks in, you'll get to witness. So this one is a woman is murdered and the detective ends up being a suspect. That's kind of cool. Not for him. That's not cool for him, but cool idea. Okay, I read The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose earlier this year and loved it. One of my favorite thrillers. So I bought her new book, You Shouldn't Have Come Here. I read like the first, I think like chapter and a half, and then ended up having to put it down for some reason. But I'm so excited to read this, and it's not even that big of a book, but the best part, look how cool. That was such a cool idea. I love that. I even like the cover, so it's a shame. I wish I hated the cover and I would just get rid of the cover and have the blood handprint out, but I like the cover too. And it's got a cool feel to it. But regardless, I'm excited to see this. See this? I'm excited to read this. This one is the girl goes to stay in an Airbnb to like get time away, and of course the Airbnb owner who like stays in the house is super hot. They start to have feelings. I think a woman went missing. There's no cell service, you know, the usual. And then he starts to like become obsessed with her. Oh my god, I'm excited. I didn't even know that. I buy books without knowing what they're about. So that was exciting to read about. I'm excited to read that now. And then this book, back baby Kindle, over a year ago, beginning of last year, when I first started reading, read Verity, and then took off from there. I bought like 10 books in week 1 of reading because of Book Talk. This was one of them. Look at the cute cover. And like, she's so cute on the side. I love this book on my bookshelf. Have never even thought about picking it up. This is the year I want to read it. This is the year. It's literally been a year. This is the month I want to read it. I do know I don't like love the camp theme. Like Riley Sager's The Last Time I Lied. I don't love that book because it's like a camp theme, which I don't know why. Like, I don't know what I have against camp. But I think it's time. I think it's time for me to read this. Or worst case, I'll make it my book club pick, so I'm forced to read this because I need to get this off my TBR. That's only 13 books for a TBR, and I didn't put it to just October or just November. I just said fall. So fall, winter, I can do that. If I really wanted to, I could literally easily read 13 books in the next 3 months, plus book club, but I'm just lazy. Especially when it comes to books that I've picked out beforehand, because I'm a huge mood reader. And if there's a book that's been sitting on my bookshelf, in my head, it means it's bad. So make that make sense. If it's new, it's good. If it's been there for over 2 months, I'm going to hate it. Now I'm going to give some recommendations for my favorite thrillers for the Halloween season, spooky season, even though it's kind of almost over. I feel like I've read a lot of very average thrillers, like the normal, there's a conflict, and then the conflict is resolved, and then there's a little twist at the end. I'm kind of tired of the thrillers that seem like they're just trying to do like a wow factor and just really just try to shock the hell out of you to be a good thriller. Those don't really do it for me. So I have a couple here that are my favorite that I've read over the past year that I think are really good for spooky season. I'm gonna get the obvious ones out of the way, okay? This isn't even spooky. This is just a fall rec that I needed to say. I feel like I talk about this in every single video, but I have to get it out of the way. Fourth Wing, read it before the next one comes out. Divine Rivals, read it before the next one comes out. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm done. Another one I've definitely talked about before, Haunting Adeline, read it, read the trigger warnings. But I personally think it's worth the read. If you want to skim over the hard parts, go for it. If you don't, for some reason, know what it's about, this with Hunting Adeline, a girl is getting stalked by a very attractive man. The entire book, she's kind of enjoying being stalked. She says she likes to be scared. If you want to skim the bad sections, like him crossing the lines, and just read it for the plot, then it's good. And Hunting Adeline. I'm not going to go too much into it. It's a fun, inappropriate read. That's about all I have to say. Housemaid, if you don't know this one yet, you should. This was like such a fun book to read. When I wasn't reading it, I just wished I was reading it. Like, I missed reading this book when I wasn't reading it, which is like all I can ask for in a book is just me wanting to not put it down. That is it. So girl gets a nanny job. The mom is literally awful to her. The kid's a spoiled brat. The dad's hot, of course. More lines are crossed, but, you know, weird things start happening, and then it's plot twisty, for sure. Frida does like her plot twists. But jaw on the floor all the time. It, like, halfway through jaw on the floor, she did it well. No Exit, Taylor Adams. This is so good. One of the, like, most on the edge of my seat thriller that I've read. I didn't want to put this book down either. The ending, I will say, like, was kind of hard to follow. There was just like, it was very action-y, like a lot of quick things happening in the end that you have to like really follow through what he's trying to like write. I don't know if that makes sense. It was just, the ending was kind of hard to follow, but the entire book had me on the edge of my seat. So this is a girl on the way home from college, and the roads are terrible because of the snow. She stops at a rest stop to try and wait out the snow. And then she goes in, there's like a couple people there, there's an old couple, there's like these 2 younger guys, one's hot, of course, always, gotta be. And so they're basically all just waiting out this storm together. No cell service, that kind of stuff. So she goes out to try and find cell service and sees in the back of a van a kid locked in a cage. If that doesn't get you, I don't know what will. So she just spends the rest of the time trying to figure out how to safely get this kid out. but while trying not to alert the people inside because she doesn't know whose car it is. And, you know, there's twists, there's turns. There's also a movie about it. I will say the movie borderline sucks and does not do it justice at all, but still, like, fun to watch. Fun to watch your characters come to life. Ruth Ware. Oh, wait. I have another Taylor Adams. We just read in book club The Last Word. It does not compare to No Exit, but it was still fun to read. It definitely wasn't my favorite, but it's still a really fun, like, thriller to read. But some people ate this up, so don't take my word for it. This is about a woman. She's house sitting. She leaves a 1-star review for a book and just bashes it. And then the author starts stalking her. So there's more to it than meets the eye than just that. Also, we get immediately into it. If you don't like a lot of build up in books, this is the book for you. Because she leaves the 1-star review basically in the first chapter and then it immediately starts happening. Which I personally don't like. I like a build up and suspense. We get right to the point in this one. Ruth Ware, Turn of the Key. This is the only Ruth Ware book I've read, and I actually enjoyed it a lot. It wasn't like the best written or the best plot twist, like that kind of thing, but it was spooky enough to where I enjoyed it. And I think about this book kind of a lot. It's a woman who goes to nanny for this family with a really high-tech house, and she's immediately thrown into it alone because the parents have to go on a not a vacation. They have to go on some sort of trip. And so she's stuck at this like smart house with these kids who are kind of nightmares. Spooky things are happening in the house. I will say it's not a paranormal book. Some people are not drawn to paranormal books, and this is not. So like it comes off as paranormal, but if that makes you read it, it's not paranormal, to help out with that, because I know many people that do not like when books take a paranormal route. The ending, I will say, is one of those endings where it leaves you off like you don't really know what happened, which is not my favorite, which I think is why I gave it a lower rating. I like a solid ending. I like to know what happened. If it's a happy ending, even if it's a bad ending, I would rather know that it was just a bad ending than to just imagine your own ending. I don't like that. That being said, still a really good book. Riley Sager has been one of my favorite thriller authors for a while. I read House Across the Lake, the first one by him, sometime last year. I read it literally in one sitting, could not put it down. It was so good. That being said, it took a paranormal route. I feel like you should know that going into it so you are not let down by the ending, because I was let down by the ending. I was so excited this whole book. I was captivated, hooked from the start. And then it felt like he cheated with the ending. So if you, I'm just warning you, if you do not like things that take a paranormal route, go into this knowing it, and you'll still like it. Another Riley Sager, Home Before Dark. This is one of my favorites of his. I wouldn't say that they're all amazing, but this one is actually really good. It's very spooky. It's basically haunted house vibes. Like if you've seen Haunting of Hill House, it's very similar to that. I remember I was reading this when I was dog sitting at a house that I had never been to and had to stop reading because I was so scared. Very fun, very twisty at the end, very good. Now, this is my favorite Riley Sager book for sure. We just read this for book club. We usually all have very differing opinions, which is fun. But this, and every single person rated this over 4 stars. 4.25 was the lowest that this got. This is about a girl who's a caregiver. She's like 30, I think. And something happened with one of her patients, accidentally. So she goes through the system, like the whole investigation system, if it was on purpose or not. Anyways, she doesn't have any money. She was suspended from her job. She has, and was given this opportunity to be a caregiver for a famous, an old famous killer. She was never put in jail because they couldn't prove it, but it's basically like given the option to care for someone who was up for murder, like triple homicide when she was a lot younger, and now she's really old. So she doesn't have an option because she has no money and nowhere to go, and like her dad hates her and blah blah blah. So she takes it. The old lady is just telling her the story the whole time. So it goes back and forth between present day and then like the past day of what happened back during the murders. And it kind of gives Verity vibes because the old lady like can't move. She can only use her left hand. But there's a lot of twists. I will say the ending, it is like twist after twist after twist. If you are not like fully paying attention, you're not going to keep up. So go into it ready to pay attention. I never really wanted to put it down. Like it never really lulled for me. I was interested the whole time. And she's like 400 pages. So for him to keep my attention for 400 pages is good for a thriller. I've also talked about Hidden Pictures before. One of my 5-star reads. Incredible, spooky, nanny, scary kid, haunted story. That's it. And then last but not least, Karen Slaughter. I just talked about it earlier, Pretty Girls. I was so into this book from the very beginning. The first few chapters, the gasp that happened in the first few chapters, if you've read it, you definitely know what I mean with the videos. Insane. Insane. This is very graphic. I will warn you. Very graphic. There were some parts where I was like in pain reading it, but a lot of twists. Very cool idea for the story. Karen Slaughter also posted me and Mugs on her story when I posted a book review with Mugs in the picture. And she posted it on her story with a little cat emoji. So also fangirling about Karen Slaughter. Love her. But I think that's it. It's hard for me to suggest a lot of fantasy because I haven't read that many fantasy. I am just now getting into it. So of course I'm going to suggest ACOTAR, obviously. Like, if you haven't read that, what are you doing? That's about all I got. Hopefully you take my word for some of these thrillers because I think they're really good. And if not, you know, that's okay. Read whatever you want. I'll still be here. And I'll still be reading ACOTAR. So, but thank you for watching. I appreciate every single one of you and hope to see you soon.